Wealth is rarely built by luck. It's built by decisions repeated every single day. Rich people don't follow a secret formula. They follow principles that guide how they think, spend, invest, work, and grow. Break these principles, and money slips away. Live by them consistently, and you begin building lasting financial freedom. In this audiobook, you'll discover 10 powerful rules that shape long-term success. Don't just listen. Apply them. Because your financial future is created by the rules you choose to live by today. Chapter 1. Stop chasing money and start creating value. Most people wake up every morning asking the wrong question. How can I make more money? It sounds like a smart question, but it keeps them trapped. The better question is, how can I become more valuable? Everything changes when you ask that. Money is a reward. Value is the cause. Confuse the two, and you'll spend your life chasing something that keeps moving farther away. Understand the difference, and opportunities begin finding you. That's the key. Imagine two people starting their careers on the same day. The first person thinks only about the paycheck. Every decision is based on immediate income. If another company offers a slightly higher salary, they leave. If a task doesn't increase today's earnings, they ignore it. The second person asks a different question. What skill can I master? What problem can I solve? How can I become someone people trust? Years pass. The first person earns a paycheck. The second person builds a reputation. A paycheck lasts a month. A reputation creates opportunities for decades. Money follows value, not wishes. Never forget that. You have a choice. Spend your life chasing dollars, or spend your life becoming someone whose work deserves them. One path creates temporary income. The other creates lasting wealth. Think about the people who create extraordinary success. A doctor creates value by improving health. An engineer creates value by solving technical problems. A teacher creates value by helping people learn. A software developer creates value by making life easier. An entrepreneur creates value by solving problems at scale. Different careers. One principle. The greater the value, the greater the opportunity. That's the key. Many people want success without service. They ask, what can I get? Successful people ask, what can I give? The marketplace rewards contribution. If your work saves people time, creates convenience, reduces stress, improves performance, or solves an important problem, people willingly exchange money for that value. Stop chasing money. Start solving problems. Money follows value, not wishes. Consider a neighborhood baker. One baker uses average ingredients, arrives late, and treats customers as transactions. Another baker wakes before sunrise, improves recipes every week, remembers customers by name, and makes every visit enjoyable. Both sell bread. One builds loyal customers. The other struggles. The difference isn't luck. The difference is value. People return to businesses that consistently improve their lives. Ask yourself every day, how can I make someone's day a little easier? That question changes the way you work. It changes the way people remember you. It changes your future. That's the key. Value is not limited to business. It appears in every conversation. When you listen carefully instead of interrupting, you create value. When you keep your promises, you create value. When you prepare before a meeting, you create value. When you finish your work with excellence instead of the minimum effort, you create value. Small acts repeated consistently become a powerful reputation. And reputation opens doors that talent alone cannot. You don't need their permission. You don't need someone to announce that you're valuable. Prove it through your actions. Every single day, many people spend years searching for shortcuts. Quick money, easy success, instant results. But shortcuts often disappear as quickly as they appear. Real value grows slowly, like a tree. At first, nobody notices the roots. But those unseen roots create lasting strength. Build your roots. Develop your skills. Improve your communication. Strengthen your character. Learn how to solve bigger problems than you solved yesterday. Your income often rises in proportion to the value you bring into the lives of others. That's the key. Here's a practical exercise. At the end of each day, write down one problem you noticed. Maybe customers waited too long. Maybe coworkers struggled with organization. Maybe your community lacks a helpful service. Now ask, how could this problem be solved? Train yourself to notice opportunities hidden inside everyday frustrations. The world's biggest businesses were often created because someone noticed an ordinary problem and decided to solve it. Opportunity rarely arrives wearing a name tag. It often looks like inconvenience. Learn to recognize it. Another habit of valuable people is continuous learning. They understand that yesterday's knowledge may not solve tomorrow's challenges. They read. They practice. They ask questions. They improve. Not because someone forces them, because growth makes them more useful. And usefulness creates opportunity. Every skill you develop becomes another tool. Every tool increases your ability to serve. Every act of service increases your value. Money follows value, not wishes. Remember those words. There will be moments when your effort seems invisible. You work hard. You improve your skills. You serve others well. Yet the rewards appear slow. Do not stop. A farmer does not dig up the seed every week to check whether it is growing. The farmer waters it, protects it, trusts the process. Your effort works the same way. Keep planting, keep improving, keep serving. Results often arrive after consistency has become a habit. You have a choice. Focus on immediate rewards, or focus on becoming exceptional. Exceptional people rarely need to chase opportunities. Their work attracts them. As you continue growing, ask yourself one final question every morning. How can I leave more value behind than I found? Live by that question. Work by that question. Live by that question. Because wealth is not created by chasing money. It is created by becoming the kind of person who consistently improves the lives of others. When you focus on creating value, money becomes a consequence instead of a destination. That is a stronger foundation. That is a wiser strategy. And that is the beginning of lasting success. Chapter 2. Spend less than you earn. Always. Money does not disappear overnight. It disappears one small decision at a time. A purchase that wasn't necessary. A subscription you forgot about. An impulse buy because you felt stressed. A lifestyle you could not truly afford. None of these choices seem dangerous on their own. But together, they quietly shape your financial future. That's the key. Many people believe wealth begins with earning more. Sometimes it does. But lasting wealth almost always begins with managing what you already have. A person earning a modest income who saves and invests consistently can build financial security. A person earning a high income who spends everything often remains trapped. Income creates opportunity. Discipline creates freedom. You have a choice. You can increase your lifestyle every time your income increases. Or you can increase your investments instead. One choice creates temporary comfort. The other creates long-term independence. Imagine two coworkers. Both receive the same promotion. Both receive the same raise. The first celebrates by upgrading everything. A larger apartment. A newer car. Expensive clothes. More monthly payments. Within a few months, the raise has disappeared. Not because the income was too small. Because the expenses became too large. The second coworker makes a different decision. They continue living below their means. They save a portion of every paycheck. They invest consistently. 5 years later, the difference between the two is remarkable. The salaries are similar. Their financial situations are completely different. Money is not only about what comes in. It is also about what stays. That's the key. One of the greatest financial traps is lifestyle inflation. Every time income rises, spending rises with it. The new phone, the bigger television, the luxury vacation, the expensive habits that slowly become normal. Soon, what once felt like a luxury begins to feel like a necessity. That is how freedom quietly disappears. Ask yourself before every major purchase, am I buying this because I need it or because I want to impress someone? The answer reveals more than you think. You don't need their permission. You don't need anyone else's approval to build a financially disciplined life. Real confidence is not wearing expensive brands. Real confidence is knowing your future is becoming stronger because of the decisions you make today. That's the key. Think of money as a team of workers. Every dollar has a job. If you spend it carelessly, it works for someone else. If you save and invest it wisely, it begins working for you. Treat every dollar with purpose. Before you spend, assign a mission. Will this purchase improve my life? Will it help me grow? Will it create future opportunities? If the answer is no, pause before buying. Delaying a purchase for just one day often separates emotional decisions from wise ones. Another powerful habit is creating a spending plan. Many people call it a budget. Some dislike that word because it feels restrictive. Think of it differently. A spending plan is simply a map. A traveler without a map often gets lost. Money without a plan usually disappears. Know where your income is going before the month begins, not after it ends. When you direct your money intentionally, you stop wondering where it went. You begin telling it where to go. That's the key. There will always be temptation. Advertisements are designed to convince you that happiness is only one purchase away. They promise status, comfort, excitement, but those feelings rarely last. Financial peace lasts much longer than temporary excitement. Learn to enjoy delayed gratification. Waiting is not weakness. Waiting is wisdom. Every dollar you avoid wasting becomes another building block for your future. Another important principle is preparing for the unexpected. Life does not always follow your plans. Unexpected repairs happen. Medical expenses appear. Jobs change. Emergencies arrive without warning. People who prepare are rarely surprised. People who ignore preparation often panic. Building an emergency fund is not pessimistic. It is practical. It gives you options when life becomes uncertain, and options create confidence. You have a choice. Spend everything today, or prepare for tomorrow. Your future self will thank you for the second decision. Remember, wealth is not measured only by what you own. It is measured by how long you can remain financially secure without fear. Freedom is the goal, not endless consumption. Many people try to look wealthy. Few people focus on becoming wealthy. There is a difference. Looking successful often requires spending. Becoming successful often requires patience. Do not confuse appearance with reality. The strongest financial foundation is usually quiet. It is built through consistent saving, thoughtful investing, careful planning, daily discipline, not dramatic purchases. That's the key. At the end of every week, review your spending. Do not judge yourself. Study your habits. Ask, which expenses added real value? Which expenses were driven by emotion? What can I improve next week? Small adjustments repeated every month create remarkable progress over the years. Financial success is rarely one extraordinary decision. It is hundreds of ordinary decisions made with consistency. Remember this truth. Every dollar represents a choice between today and tomorrow, between impulse and intention, between appearance and freedom. Choose wisely, because the habits you build with money eventually shape the life you build for yourself. Spend with purpose, save with discipline, invest with patience. That is how lasting wealth quietly grows. Chapter 3. Make your money work while you sleep. Most people believe there are only two ways to earn money: work harder or work longer. That belief keeps millions of people trapped because time has limits. You can only work so many hours in a day. You can only trade so much energy before exhaustion catches up. If your income depends entirely on your presence, your earning potential will always have a ceiling. That's the key. The goal is not simply to earn money. The goal is to build systems that continue creating value even when you are resting, learning, or spending time with your family. Money should become a worker, not a trophy. Every dollar you save has a choice. It can disappear through spending, or it can become an employee that works for you. You have a choice. Spend every dollar today, or send some of those dollars to work for your future. The wealthy understand this principle early. They do not ask, "How much can I earn this month?" They ask, "How can I make today's earnings produce tomorrow's income?" That single question changes everything. Imagine two friends who each save $500 every month. The first leaves the money sitting in a checking account for years. The second invests the same amount carefully into long-term assets. Neither becomes wealthy overnight, but time begins working for the second person. Small gains become larger gains. Those gains begin producing even more gains. The process is slow at first. Then it becomes powerful. That is the quiet strength of consistent investing. It rewards patience more than excitement. That's the key. Many people ignore investing because they believe they need a fortune before they can begin. That is another costly mistake. You do not build wealth by waiting until you have plenty of money. You build wealth by developing the habit of investing while your income is still growing. The amount matters, but the habit matters even more. Habits create identities. An investor thinks differently from a spender. An investor asks, "Will this purchase increase in value?" A spender asks, "Will this make me happy today?" One question builds tomorrow. The other often forgets tomorrow completely. You don't need their permission. You don't need approval from friends or family to begin managing your money wisely. Many people will not understand your discipline. Some may even laugh when you refuse unnecessary spending. Let them. Your financial future belongs to you, not to their opinions. That's the key. Think of a fruit tree. A farmer plants one small seed. Nothing impressive happens during the first few weeks. The ground looks unchanged. But beneath the surface, roots are growing. Years later, that tree produces fruit season after season. Investing follows the same pattern. The beginning appears slow. Consistency builds strength beneath the surface. Eventually, the results become visible. Do not confuse slow progress with no progress. Patience is often invisible before it becomes obvious. Another important lesson is understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. An asset has the potential to generate income or increase in value over time. A liability usually costs you money to own and maintain. Before making a major financial decision, ask yourself, is this helping my future grow, or is it quietly reducing my future options? That one question can prevent years of regret. Learn before you invest. Read books. Study basic financial principles. Understand risk. Do not invest because someone online promises quick riches. Quick money often disappears quickly. Steady growth usually lasts much longer. Knowledge protects your money. Ignorance puts it at risk. That's the key. There will always be new trends. Someone will always promise guaranteed returns. Someone will always claim to have discovered an easy shortcut. Remember this. If something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Real wealth is built through patience, consistency, and informed decisions, not through gambling disguised as investing. Stay calm when others become emotional. Stay disciplined when others become greedy. Stay focused when others become distracted. Your greatest financial advantage is not predicting every market movement. It is remaining consistent while others constantly change direction. You have a choice. React emotionally or respond strategically. Choose strategy every time. Another powerful principle is creating multiple sources of income. Depending on only one paycheck creates unnecessary risk. Skills can become income. Knowledge can become income. A small business can become income. Investments can become income. Royalties from creative work can become income. The goal is not to chase many opportunities at once. The goal is to gradually build more than one stream that supports your future. Think of a table. One leg makes it unstable. For strong legs create balance. Financial security works the same way. Diversification creates resilience. There will be seasons when progress feels slow. You may wonder whether your efforts are making any difference. Keep going. The most powerful force in wealth building is consistency, not intensity, not luck. Consistency. Saving every month. Investing every month. Learning every month. Improving every month. Those simple actions, repeated over years, produce extraordinary outcomes. Remember this. Money is a tool. A tool becomes powerful only when used wisely. Do not worship it. Do not fear it. Learn to direct it. Every dollar has the potential to create another dollar when managed with patience and discipline. That is how financial freedom grows. Quietly, steadily, purposefully. Begin where you are. Start with what you have. Improve what you know. Continue learning. Continue investing. Continue thinking long-term. Because one day you will realize something remarkable. Your money is no longer depending only on your labor. It has learned to work alongside you. And that is one of the most important steps toward lasting wealth. Chapter 4. Protect your time like your greatest investment. Every person on earth receives the same deposit each morning. 24 hours. No one receives more. No one receives less. The difference between an average life and an extraordinary one is rarely intelligence alone. It is how those 24 hours are invested. That's the key. Money lost can often be earned again. A failed business can be rebuilt. A broken skill can be relearned. But 1 hour that has passed is gone forever. Time is the only investment that never offers a refund. Yet most people spend it as if it has no value. They scroll without purpose. They procrastinate. They delay important work. They promise themselves they will start tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. One day they realize the opportunity has disappeared. Not because they lack talent, because they wasted time. You have a choice. Spend your hours, or invest them. One creates memories of regret. The other creates a future of freedom. Imagine two young professionals beginning their careers. Both have similar education. Both have similar salaries. Both dream of financial independence. The first finishes work and spends every evening watching random videos, endlessly checking social media, and postponing personal growth. The second spends 1 hour every evening learning a valuable skill. Public speaking, digital marketing, sales, programming, leadership. At first, nothing seems different. 1 month passes. 6 months pass. 1 year passes. The gap begins to grow. 5 years later, the second person has developed expertise that opens doors to promotions, business opportunities, and higher income. The difference was never talent. It was how they invested their evenings. Time invested becomes opportunity multiplied. That's the key. Every successful person eventually understands one important truth. Busy does not mean productive. You can spend 12 hours moving from task to task and still accomplish very little. Productive people ask one question before they begin their day. What is the single most valuable thing I can accomplish today? Then they do that first, before checking unnecessary messages, before reacting to distractions, before filling their schedule with low-value activities. They protect their best hours. You should do the same. Your mind is strongest when it is fresh. Use that energy for meaningful work. Leave smaller tasks for later. Protect your peak performance. Another common mistake is confusing entertainment with recovery. Rest is necessary. Everyone needs time to recharge. But endless distraction is not rest. It often leaves you more tired than before. Real recovery gives you energy. Mindless consumption usually steals it. Choose activities that refresh your mind. Read. Exercise. Walk outside. Have meaningful conversations. Reflect in silence. Those moments strengthen your thinking instead of exhausting it. That's the key. Think of time like fertile land. Whatever you plant grows. Plant distractions. Distractions multiply. Plant learning. Knowledge multiplies. Plant discipline. Results multiply. Every hour carries potential. The question is, what are you planting? Many people say they do not have enough time. Look carefully. Often the issue is not a lack of time. It is a lack of priorities. We always find time for what we truly value. If something matters deeply enough, we make room for it. Stop saying, I don't have time. Instead ask, is this important enough for me to schedule? That question removes excuses. It creates responsibility. You have a choice. Protect your schedule, or allow other people to control it. Every unnecessary meeting, every pointless argument, every distraction accepted without thought quietly steals a piece of your future. Learn the power of saying no. Not every invitation deserves your attention. Not every opportunity deserves your energy. Not every request deserves an immediate yes. Every yes to something unimportant becomes a no to something meaningful. Guard your calendar carefully. It reveals your priorities more honestly than your words ever will. Another powerful habit is planning tomorrow before today ends. Spend 10 minutes each evening reviewing your next day. Write down your 3 most important tasks. Prepare what you need. Remove obvious distractions. When morning arrives, you begin with direction instead of confusion. Clarity saves time. Preparation reduces stress. Small routines create remarkable efficiency. That's the key. Successful people also understand the value of uninterrupted focus. Constant interruptions weaken performance. Every notification breaks concentration. Every unnecessary distraction forces your brain to restart. Protect periods of deep work. Silence your phone. Close unnecessary tabs. Focus on one meaningful task at a time. 1 hour of complete concentration often produces more than 3 hours of scattered attention. Quality matters more than quantity. Remember this. Your future is being built while nobody is watching. Every hour spent learning. Every hour spent practicing. Every hour spent improving. Those quiet investments become visible years later. People may call it luck. You will know the truth. It was disciplined use of time. There will always be unexpected challenges. Plans will change. Emergencies will happen. Do not let one difficult day become one wasted week. Adapt quickly. Return to your priorities. Continue moving. Consistency always wins over perfection. The clock never stops. Neither should your commitment to growth. Time does not reward intentions. It rewards action. Every sunrise gives you another opportunity to invest wisely. Every sunset asks one important question. What did you build today? Answer that question honestly. Not with excuses. Not with promises. With evidence. Because in the end, your life is simply the sum of how you spent your days. Protect your mornings. Protect your attention. Protect your purpose. Most importantly, protect your time. Because when you learn to value your hours, you begin creating a life that becomes more valuable with every passing year. That is how ordinary days become extraordinary success. Chapter 5. Learn before you earn more. Everyone wants a higher income. Few people ask the question that actually leads to it. What do I need to learn to become more valuable? That single question has changed more lives than any shortcut ever has. Money often follows knowledge. Opportunity often follows skill. Success often follows preparation. That's the key. Imagine two employees working in the same company. Both arrive on time. Both complete their assigned tasks. Both hope for a promotion. But when the workday ends, their choices become very different. The first employee goes home and forgets about growth until the next morning. The second employee spends 1 hour learning. They improve their communication. They study leadership. They practice a technical skill. They read books about business and finance. 1 year later, something interesting happens. The second employee begins solving problems the first employee cannot solve. The promotion follows naturally. Not because of luck, because learning made them more valuable. Knowledge creates opportunity. Opportunity creates income. Income creates options. That's the key. Many people believe education ends when school ends. Successful people know the opposite. School may stop. Learning should never stop. The world changes constantly. Technology evolves. Industries transform. Customer needs shift. If your knowledge stays the same while the world keeps moving forward, you slowly fall behind. You have a choice. Keep learning, or keep wondering why opportunities pass you by. The choice belongs to you. Think of your mind as a toolbox. Every new skill is another tool. A carpenter with one tool can complete only simple jobs. A carpenter with 20 specialized tools can solve far more complex problems. Your career works the same way. The more useful skills you possess, the more valuable you become. And value attracts opportunity. One of the most powerful skills you can develop is communication. You may have brilliant ideas, but if you cannot explain them clearly, those ideas often remain unnoticed. Great communicators inspire trust. They build relationships. They lead teams. They create influence. Influence opens doors that talent alone sometimes cannot. Learning to communicate well is an investment that continues paying for the rest of your life. That's the key. Another valuable skill is problem solving. Employers do not simply pay people for their time. They pay people for reducing problems. The larger the problem you can solve, the greater your potential reward. Instead of asking, "What is my job?" ask, "What problems can I solve better than yesterday?" That question changes your focus. It transforms work from routine into growth. Remember this. People rarely become highly paid because they are busy. They become highly paid because they become useful. Usefulness creates demand. Demand increases opportunity. Opportunity increases income. Many people wait for someone else to train them. Do not make that mistake. Take responsibility for your own education. Read books. Listen to educational audiobooks. Attend workshops. Practice new skills. Ask experienced people thoughtful questions. Every hour invested in learning builds a stronger version of yourself. You don't need their permission. You don't need someone to tell you it's time to improve. Begin today. Another powerful principle is learning from failure. Many people see mistakes as proof they are not capable. Successful learners see mistakes as feedback. Imagine a chef preparing a new recipe. The first attempt may not be perfect. Instead of quitting, the chef adjusts the ingredients, changes the timing, improves the technique. Each mistake becomes information. Eventually, the recipe succeeds. Growth follows the same pattern. Failure is not always the opposite of success. Often, it is part of the process that creates success. That's the key. Never become the smartest person in every room you enter. Surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking. Listen more than you speak. Observe how disciplined people make decisions. Notice how experienced professionals solve problems. Success leaves clues. Pay attention to them. Learning from others can shorten your own journey. There is another habit that separates lifelong learners from everyone else. Curiosity. Curious people ask better questions. How does this work? Why is this successful? What can I improve? Questions create understanding. Understanding creates wisdom. Wisdom leads to better decisions. Never lose your curiosity. It is one of the greatest engines of personal growth. You have a choice. Spend your free time consuming entertainment without purpose, or spend part of it investing in yourself. 1 hour every day may seem small, but 1 hour multiplied by months and years becomes thousands of hours. Those hours become expertise. Expertise becomes opportunity. Opportunity becomes financial growth. Do not underestimate small investments of time. Great achievements are often built from ordinary daily habits. Another lesson is to apply what you learn immediately. Knowledge without action creates false confidence. Reading about fitness does not build strength. Reading about business does not create income. Reading about communication does not improve relationships. Application creates transformation. After learning one useful idea, practice it, test it, refine it. Experience teaches lessons that books alone cannot provide. Remember this. The greatest investment you will ever make is not in a stock, not in a business, not in real estate. It is in yourself. Markets rise and fall. Technology changes. Industries evolve. But the knowledge you develop, the character you strengthen, and the skills you master remain with you wherever you go. No one can take them away. Every book you finish, every skill you practice, every lesson you apply, every problem you solve, they all become part of the person you are becoming. So never stop learning. Never stop growing. Never believe you have reached the finish line. Because the more valuable you become, the more opportunities life places in front of you. Learn before you earn more. Grow before you demand greater rewards. Master your craft before expecting extraordinary results. That is the path followed by people who create lasting success. And it is a path that remains open to anyone willing to keep learning long after everyone else has stopped. Chapter 6. Control your emotions before your wallet. Money does not disappear because numbers are difficult. It disappears because emotions take control. Fear, excitement, pride, impatience, stress. These emotions influence financial decisions every single day. Most people believe money problems begin in the bank account. They often begin in the mind. That's the key. Imagine walking into a store after a difficult day. You are tired, frustrated, maybe disappointed. Suddenly you see something expensive. You don't truly need it. But for a moment, buying it feels like relief. So you swipe your card. For a few minutes, you feel better. Then reality returns. The stress remains. The money is gone. This is emotional spending. It promises comfort. It delivers temporary satisfaction. Then it leaves behind long-term consequences. You have a choice. Spend according to emotion, or spend according to purpose. One decision builds regret. The other builds freedom. Every purchase tells a story. Sometimes it says, I planned for this. Other times it says, I reacted without thinking. Learn to recognize the difference. Before making any major purchase, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself 3 simple questions. Do I truly need this? Will this improve my life 6 months from now? Am I buying this because of emotion or because of intention? Those few seconds can save hundreds or even thousands of dollars over the years. That's the key. Another powerful emotion is fear. Fear convinces people that every financial risk is dangerous. As a result, they never invest. They never start a business. They never develop new skills. They choose safety over growth. But there is another kind of fear. The fear of making reckless decisions. That fear also exists. Wisdom lives between these 2 extremes. Do not fear every opportunity. Do not trust every opportunity. Learn, research, prepare, then decide. Discipline defeats both panic and recklessness. Remember this, it is not about fear. It is about preparation. Preparation creates confidence. Confidence leads to better decisions. Many people also become victims of excitement. A friend talks about an investment that everyone is making. Social media promises easy money. Headlines claim that fortunes are being made overnight. Excitement takes over. People invest without understanding what they are buying. Weeks later, disappointment replaces excitement. Successful investors do something different. They slow down. They ask questions. They study the facts. They never confuse popularity with quality. That's the key. Imagine a captain sailing across the ocean. Sudden storms appear. Strong winds push the ship in unexpected directions. A careless captain panics, changes direction every few minutes, makes emotional decisions. An experienced captain remains calm, studies the conditions, adjusts carefully, keeps moving toward the destination. Money works the same way. Financial storms will come. Markets rise. Markets fall. Unexpected expenses happen. The calm decision maker usually reaches the destination. The emotional decision maker often gets lost. Another emotion that quietly damages finances is pride. Pride whispers, "You deserve this. People will be impressed. You need to look successful." Many people spend money trying to create an image they cannot afford. Expensive cars, designer clothes, luxury lifestyles supported by debt. The appearance of wealth is not wealth. True financial strength often looks ordinary. Real wealth grows quietly. It is built through discipline rather than display. You don't need their permission. You do not need strangers to approve your financial choices. You do not need expensive possessions to prove your value. Your confidence should come from your character, not from your purchases. That's the key. Another habit of emotionally disciplined people is patience. They understand that waiting creates better decisions. If they want to buy something expensive, they delay the purchase. Sometimes for 24 hours. Sometimes for a week. Sometimes even longer. During that waiting period, emotions begin to fade. Logic becomes stronger. Often they realize they never truly wanted the item. Patience protects your wallet. Impatience empties it. You have a choice. React immediately or respond thoughtfully. One decision lasts a moment. The other benefits you for years. Gratitude also plays an important role in financial discipline. People who constantly compare themselves with others rarely feel satisfied. There is always someone with a bigger house, a newer car, a higher salary. Comparison creates endless dissatisfaction. Gratitude creates contentment. Content people still work hard. They still pursue growth. But they are not controlled by envy. They appreciate what they already have while building what comes next. That mindset creates peace. Another valuable habit is separating identity from income. You are not your paycheck. You are not your investments. You are not your possessions. Your worth does not rise because your bank account grows, and it does not disappear because of temporary setbacks. People who understand this remain steady. Success does not make them arrogant. Failure does not destroy them. Their identity rests on values, discipline, integrity, responsibility. Those qualities create lasting success. Remember this. Money is a powerful tool, but it becomes dangerous when emotions control how it is used. Train yourself to pause before acting. Think before spending. Study before investing. Plan before borrowing. Reflect before reacting. These habits seem simple, but repeated over many years, they create extraordinary financial stability. Every wise financial decision strengthens your future. Every emotional decision teaches an expensive lesson. Choose wisely. Control your emotions before they control your wallet. Because lasting wealth is not built by people who make perfect decisions. It is built by people who consistently make calm, thoughtful, and disciplined decisions, even when emotions try to lead them in another direction. That is how financial confidence grows. Not through luck, not through shortcuts, but through self-control practiced one decision at a time. Chapter 7. Build habits, not shortcuts. Everyone wants success. Very few people want the routine that creates it. That is why shortcuts are so attractive. They promise faster results, less effort, instant rewards. But shortcuts rarely build lasting success. They often build temporary excitement, followed by lasting disappointment. That's the key. Look around. People search for the fastest way to lose weight, the quickest way to become rich, the easiest way to build a business, the secret formula for success. But success has never been hidden. It has always been built through consistent habits repeated over time. The people who achieve remarkable results are usually not doing extraordinary things every day. They are doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. You have a choice. You can spend your life chasing shortcuts, or you can spend your life building habits. One path creates temporary progress. The other creates permanent transformation. Imagine two gardeners. The first wants a beautiful garden immediately. Instead of preparing the soil, watering the plants, and waiting patiently, they look for artificial solutions that promise instant growth. For a short time, everything looks impressive. Then the plants begin to weaken. The second gardener follows a different approach. They prepare the soil carefully, water consistently, remove weeds every week, protect the plants from pests. Growth is slower, but season after season, the garden becomes stronger. Your financial life works exactly the same way. Healthy habits are the roots. Wealth is the fruit. Never confuse the two. That's the key. Many people underestimate small actions. Saving a little each month seems insignificant. Reading 10 pages each day feels too small to matter. Learning one new skill every few weeks appears slow. But habits work like compound interest. The results are almost invisible at first. Then one day, everything changes. The small actions you ignored become the reason for extraordinary outcome. Success rarely arrives suddenly. It quietly grows beneath the surface. Think about someone learning to play the piano. The first lesson feels awkward. The second feels slightly better. Months later, simple songs become possible. Years later, beautiful music flows naturally. No single practice session created mastery. Thousands of consistent sessions did. Money follows the same principle. Small financial habits repeated consistently produce remarkable long-term results. That's the key. One dangerous shortcut is trying to become wealthy through luck. People buy things they do not understand because someone promised easy profits. They take unnecessary risks hoping for instant success. Sometimes luck works for a short period. Eventually, poor habits reveal themselves. Lasting wealth is never built on hope alone. It is built on preparation, knowledge, patience, discipline. Remember this. It is not about speed. It is about consistency. Consistency defeats intensity when intensity cannot be maintained. Another powerful habit is paying yourself first, before spending on entertainment, before buying unnecessary upgrades, before rewarding yourself. Set aside money for your future. Treat saving and investing as essential responsibilities rather than optional leftovers. If you only save what remains at the end of the month, there is often very little left. Make your future a priority, not an afterthought. You don't need their permission. You do not need anyone else's approval to live below your means. Some people will question your discipline. They may wonder why you drive an older car, why you avoid unnecessary luxury, why you continue learning instead of showing off. Let them wonder. Your goal is not to impress strangers. Your goal is to build freedom. Freedom is always more valuable than appearance. That's the key. Every habit begins with one decision. One healthy meal, one chapter read, one investment made, one unnecessary purchase avoided. Never underestimate the importance of today's smallest decision. Small decisions become repeated behaviors. Repeated behaviors become habits. Habits become character. Character shapes destiny. That is how ordinary choices create extraordinary lives. There will be days when discipline feels difficult. You may become tired, busy, discouraged. Those are the moments when habits become even more valuable. Habits reduce the need for constant motivation. You no longer ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" You simply act, because disciplined behavior has become part of your identity. That identity becomes stronger every time you keep your promises to yourself. Another lesson is learning to track your progress. What gets measured often improves. Review your finances every month. Monitor your spending. Observe your investments. Celebrate small improvements. Do not become obsessed with perfection. Become committed to progress. Progress builds confidence. Confidence strengthens discipline. Discipline produces lasting results. That's the key. Avoid comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Every financially successful person once started with limited knowledge, limited income, limited experience. The difference is they continued improving while others continued comparing. Comparison wastes energy. Improvement creates opportunity. Keep your attention on your own journey. Remember this. Shortcuts usually focus on immediate rewards. Habits focus on long-term success. One asks, "How quickly can I become rich?" The other asks, "How can I become the kind of person who manages wealth wisely?" The second question changes your identity. Identity creates behavior. Behavior creates results. When you become disciplined enough to repeat good habits without needing applause, your future begins changing in ways you cannot yet see. So choose the slower road if it leads to lasting strength. Choose the habit instead of the shortcut. Choose consistency instead of excitement. Because real wealth is rarely built by one brilliant decision. It is built by thousands of disciplined choices repeated over years. The people who appear successful overnight are often standing on foundations they quietly built for a very long time. Build your foundation patiently. Protect it daily. Strengthen it consistently. And one day, people will admire your success without realizing they are actually admiring your habits. The difference between financial struggle and financial freedom is rarely one decision. It is thousands of decisions made consistently over time. Today you've learned 10 principles that successful wealth builders refuse to compromise. Create value. Spend wisely. Invest patiently. Protect your time. Keep learning. Control your emotions. Build strong habits. Choose the right people. Think long-term. And make discipline part of your identity. Remember, wealth is not built in a day, but it is built every day. Starting today, commit to living by these rules. Don't wait for a bigger paycheck. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Begin with the decisions you make right now, because your financial future is created one choice at a time.